Today, we have a story about a major incident, but before that, I'd like to introduce a recent topic. Recently in southern China, a man had a small insect land under his eye. He tried to swat it away with his hand, but soon his left eye became red and inflamed and started to hurt. He went to the hospital, and the diagnosis in Chinese was seasonal conjunctivitis. He was prescribed eye drops, but they did not help. In fact, his condition continued to worsen. Despite having no previous vision problems, his vision dropped to 0.02. When he was examined again, it turned out he had a fungal infection and ulcers around his eye. The only way to prevent the infection from spreading to his brain and endangering his life was to remove his left eye. Consequently, he lost his left eye. Articles about this incident are widely circulating on Chinese websites, and they all emphasize that this small insect is very dangerous and one must be cautious. While this is not incorrect, let me provide a bit of context about this insect. In Japanese, it is called daichobo or choka, and it turns out that it is a very resilient insect, even more so than cockroaches. It can survive in environments where cockroaches cannot. Originally, these insects live in wetlands or marshes. In human environments, their larvae grow in sewage, and when they mature, they fly around in areas inhabited by people. Due to their unsanitary origin, they carry various pathogens. Thus, touching these insects or having them come into contact with food can introduce pathogens into the human body. So, this insect is quite prevalent in human living environments and is very unsanitary, so caution is advised. However, what is not mentioned in the Chinese articles is that there might be a more serious issue underlying this situation. The patient in question was a man in his 30s. I believe the reason he ended up having his eye removed is not merely because he touched an unsanitary insect. Initially, the diagnosis was seasonal conjunctivitis, which is essentially allergic conjunctivitis. The treatment for this would be similar to that for pollen allergy symptoms. Since the initial diagnosis was allergic conjunctivitis rather than a fungal infection, it is possible that the first eye drops did not contain effective antifungal agents. Hence, they would not work. This suggests that the problem might not be the patient's fault but possibly an issue with the medical treatment. It raises the question of whether doctors can distinguish between allergic and bacterial infections quickly. I noticed in the comments that some viewers might be medical professionals, possibly including ophthalmologists. If anyone knows how difficult it is to distinguish between these two conditions, please share. In China, the situation is complicated by the fact that many drugs contain substances that have led to antibiotic-resistant strains. This means that even commonly used antibiotics might not be effective. The worst-case scenario is that the initial eye drops might have contained substances that were ineffective against the resistant fungi, causing the symptoms to worsen. If that is the case, it means that in places like Xi'an, there might be antibiotic-resistant fungi present that are transported to human living environments by insects. This would indicate that the problem is not just with the insects but also with the effectiveness of available treatments. This issue reflects a broader problem with sanitary conditions in Xi'an and potentially other regions. In China, not only are antibiotics widely used in human medicine, but also in livestock farming, leading to increased antibiotic resistance. I have heard firsthand from a company selling veterinary antibiotics that they are used extensively. As a result, antibiotic-resistant strains are prevalent in livestock environments and can spread through various channels, including insects. China faces numerous risks in daily life, such as food safety issues and the misuse of industrial oils for edible products. This might contribute to the high cancer rates per capita in China. Moreover, the misuse of medications could lead to situations where drugs become ineffective when truly needed. This problem may vary by region, and while data on its severity might not be publicly available, it is known among those in the medical field that resistant strains are a significant issue, possibly even in Xi'an. Now, let's move on to the comedy corner. Today's topic is, what would Fukuzawa Yukichi say about modern China? I'll share some of the submissions. Fukuzawa Yukichi might say, just as I predicted. With a proud look on his face. People today might think it's impossible for Japan to model itself on China, but intellectuals of Fukuzawa's time, who were familiar with Confucian classics, might have been impressed by his foresight. Another comment suggests that Fukuzawa might say, isn't it about time for a change? Fukuzawa Yukichi would likely recommend revisiting his works that advocate for modernization. Another submission states that Fukuzawa might say, heaven does not create a state above the neck, nor does it create the head below the state. Another response is, the most important thing in education is to extract money from all the people. One comment reflects that Fukuzawa would say, It's already rotten, it's beyond repair. This would be his reaction upon seeing something hopelessly decayed. Many of the responses were parodies of Fukuzawa Yukichi's quotes or works. Additionally, I asked for what Buddha might say about modern China. Here are some of the top responses. Enough already. Buddha might exclaim, reflecting just how bad things have become in China. Another comment says Buddha might say, bad company leads to ruin. Avoid the wicked and avoid the Communist Party. Another suggests Buddha would say, I wish I had never seen this Buddhist nation. Finally, one response says Buddha might say, the current China can be compared to a runaway dog. The essence is that it's completely rotten. Thank you for all your submissions. Next time, we'll have a new topic inspired by anime fans, using a quote from Slugger Law, sad but true, this is blank. Please fill in the blank and submit your responses. That's all for today's video. See you in the next one.